funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown and abuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, but nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs, the SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Top 10 Tuesday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham, and, you see, this is why you have to watch the entire game on Monday Night Football. All right, the story was going to be the incredible play of Jalen Hurts. It was going to be the highly efficient passing game and Jalen running the ball for 85 yards, usually in key moments in the game. The story was going to be Saquon Barkley in his Philly home debut, running for nearly 100 yards, looking like the old Saquon Barkley, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. But then he drops an easy pass in the flats for what would have surely been a game-ending first down. And the next thing you know, Kirk Cousins is leading the Falcons on a 6-play, 70-yard drive in just 65 seconds and hitting Drake London with the game-tying TD. But wait, Drake has to be an idiot and begin shooting the entire crowd with an imaginary AK-47. And it's a 15-yard penalty against the Falcons. Now, at this point, Nick Sirianni has a decision to make. Take the 15 yards on the extra point, making it a 48-yard extra point, or take it on the kickoff, making the Falcons kick from the 20. Look, Young-Ho Koo is making a 48-yarder 85, 90% of the time. You make that dude kick from the 20. The coverage team is backed up to its own 45. Remember, they would be at the 40. Now they'd have to go back 15 yards and cross midfield back to their own 45. The returner catches that ball around the 5-8-yard line with an excellent chance to bring it back to near midfield. Instead, the kickoff is a touchback. They take over at their own 30. And 2 plays later, Jalen Hurts throws a desperation pick under heavy pressure. Now, as for the call to pass on 3rd and 3 from the Falcons' 10-yard line, leading 18-15. 1:46 left in the game. Atlanta's out of timeouts. Kellen Moore made that call. Nick Sirianni could have overruled it, but he let it fly. He said it. He got chippy. I mean, I'd be chippy too in that postgame. But he got chippy in the postgame. And he said, Kellen Moore's the offensive coordinator. He makes the calls. And they asked him, they said, well, could you have overrode it? He said, yeah, I'm the head coach. Ooh, chippy. You got a little chippy. The reality is, there's got to make the catch. Got to make the catch. I mean, the pass was perfect. Barkley is great out of the backfield. He catches it, and maybe he walks into the end zone, but surely the first down. But Barkley was averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Hey, run the ball there. Run the ball there. The clock runs down to about a minute. If he's short, you have 2 choices. You are the best 4th down team in the league. If it's 4th and short and you go for it and miss it, you leave Atlanta 90 yards away with less than a minute to play, or you can kick the field goal there and burn some more time. A little bit of time comes off when you kick the field goal. Look, I didn't hate the call. Catch the ball, the game is over. Didn't hate the call. At the moment in time, didn't hate the call. Was surprised they didn't run it. Last week, Falcon fan was ready to dump Kirk Cousins, send him to Miami, play Michael Penix, This week, dude earned his money and admitted that he's still not 100%. Now it feels like the Falcons may be who we thought they were, a contender for the NFC South. And all of a sudden, the NFC South looks loaded with the Saints going off, scoring 45 points a game in the first two games. The Bucs and Baker Mayfield are 2-0 as well. I mean, welcome to week in the NFL. This is why it's the 3-week rule. This is why. Now, are the Falcons the team that couldn't get out of their own way against the Steelers? Played great defense against the Steelers, but Steelers can't score against a stiff breeze. Are they that team, or are they the team that went to Philadelphia and beat the Eagles? And let me tell you something. In Atlanta, they're like, oh, well, that's cool. If that's Nashville, if that's the Tennessee Titans, they lose again. Oh, yeah, maybe a few people, say something now. When I was in Nashville, when I first got to Nashville 15 years ago, people were afraid to say anything negative about the Titans. They thought they'd move. They were afraid to say anything negative about Jeff Fisher. They thought that, they would just move the team. Oh, we'll lose our team. We got an NFL team. We'll just say nice stuff. We're Nashville. The media in Philadelphia, are you kidding me? Crucifying the Eagles. Crucifying them. All right, coming up in a few minutes, Beau Morgan from the Falcons Radio Network will join us. Forgot to tell Joe he needs to text him. He's got to wake up Beau. You got to text Beau and wake him up. He does his morning show, then he takes a nap. So we need to text Beau Morgan, who's like Joe's age. Apparently he needs a text to wake him up. Then at the top of the one today, Bama beat writer Kennington Lloyd Smith of The Athletic will be in. Off of Alabama's impressive showing in Wisconsin and what the bye week looks like before the massive Georgia game. We do have a top 10 for you today. Our list today is the states and cities that NFL players come from. It's a fascinating list. I'm going to give it to you in bulk where the most NFL players come from, the city that the most NFL players come from, and then I'm going to give you per capita where the most NFL players come from. Coming up in a few minutes, Beau Morgan. All right, the lines are open. 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW. 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The Zone is on X at 97.7 ESPN. And you can go ahead and follow at ESPN Winchester as well. Check out our YouTube channel, WZZN TV. Please subscribe to that bad boy. We are going to make the show available to you on more platforms very, very soon. You're going to be able to watch WZZN TV very soon on some additional platforms. We'll let you know that tomorrow. Make sure you get the apps. You need the apps. All right? Did they say follow at ESPN Winchester? Yeah, go ahead and give them a follow too. You need the Zone app. We got another big Friday night of high school football. We got games going on all over the place on Friday night, so you need to have the app. You got Buckhorn at Lee, which will be over the air and on our primary feed. You got Huntsville and Sparkman. Huntsville and Sparkman will be on Zone 4. Where is that game? At Sparkman, right? That's at Sparkman?
No, that is actually at Joe D.
I think it's at Sparkman. I can't hear Joe if he's talking to me. But it's at Sparkman.
It's not at Sparkman.
Not at Sparkman. Of course, it's at Joe Davis. Is that Joe Davis?
It's at Joe Davis.
Do I have to have the monitor on to hear Joe? Joe, talk to me again in my ear.
Sup?
All right, there you go. So I have to have the monitor on to talk to hear Joe. I turned the monitor off because it was buzzing in my ear. I don't understand why. We have these state-of-the-art boards in here that they've got to be worth tens of dollars. All right, having said that, that game is at Joe Davis. That's a treat. That's a treat. That game will be on both Zone 4 and on Talk Radio. On 97.7-2 and the primary feed for Talk Radio. Now that the Trash Panda season is over. MA is at Madison County. Steve will have that one for you with Glenn Laird. Randolph is at Catholic or at St. John Paul, whatever you want to call it. And Westminster is at DAR. Shouldn't have a problem there based on what we saw last week out of DAR. That is on Zone 5. So this is why you want to have all these zones, okay? This is why you want to have all these things. All right, playing the platters that matter and the stacks of wax. Manning the phones, keeping us on the air, telling me where his game is this Friday night. It's Jumpin' Joe Hunk.
Baby shark, baby shark. Hello, I'm looking for Thom Hoffman.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen. Can't hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lift.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
And this is important because once you get that third one. They hit that little tank, get that heroic ability.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. So passionate.
You're next!
So long, Nashville, Tennessee. You can't have what's left of me.
So, Joe, have you been to the Joe yet? It was named after you. I don't know if you knew that. They call it the Joe.
Well, they should after how well I played there.
Yes.
So
I know you played baseball back there in the day when it was a baseball stadium, but you had never been to you haven't been to it since they renovated it.
No, the last time I went there was the last time that I played there.
Yeah.
So that was probably 05.
So Joe played at UAH, and that's where they used to play before they built that little stadium they got over there at Charger Park at UAH. So that's how old he is.
Oh, trust me, I get reminded that anytime I do an event at UAH. I was like, this used to not be here.
Yeah, it didn't even be here.
They're like, what do you mean it used to not be here? I said, we used to play at Joe Davis. They're like, the soccer field? No, not. God bless it.
Let me tell you something, Joe. First of all, you're not even going to recognize it. When you go in there, you won't even recognize it. Secondly, the broadcast booth, and it's so comfortable. I mean, it is nice. I mean, we're talking about sweet big leather chairs and the view of the scoreboard is massive. You can't even imagine when it was a baseball stadium. And I was here then too, when starting in 04. So I was at plenty of Huntsville Star games and stuff. It's amazing how different it is. I mean, it's crazy, but you'll love it for high school football. It's spectacular.
Well, and that's honestly the one thing that I'm happy that they did is they kept the stadium and they renovated it, because as many times as I have driven past that stadium when it was just collecting grass and dust and dirt and everything, I'm glad that they didn't destroy it and they just built something else in its place. So I love that it has a second life. So I'm excited to go to it.
Now they're building something in front of it. I don't know if that's a parking garage or if that's a hotel or what they're building right now, but there's a bunch of building that's going on in front of it. And it is sweet. I mean, it is really nice for high school football. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. You know what would be nice there? If UAH had a football team, just saying, I mean, it would be cool to see a UAH football game, Division II game being played right there at the Joe Davis Stadium.
Don't you dare make sense.
I'm just saying.
Don't you dare.
I'm just saying. I'm so tired of the
rumors. Wait, no, we don't have hockey anymore. Never mind.
No,
I can make fun of hockey
there's
now.
actually some talk about bringing that
Don't
back.
do that garbage. I am
tired of hearing about the rumors of football. How many years has it been that we've been hearing rumors about football?
I did an interview for a book back in 07 that asked about why there was not a football team at UAH.
I honestly thought it was going to happen like a year ago, 2 years ago. I mean, it was like, okay, we're gathering up the shekels for football.
Well, it was, you finally got rid of the hockey program. So, I mean,
if you had
beneficial.
If you had a D2 football team, they could play Alabama A&M, which is 1AA, HBCU. What a deal that would be. Can you imagine Alabama A&M and UAH playing a football game at Louis Cruz or at Joe Davis? How cool would that be after they got the program going a little bit?
No, and the thing about the UAH, obviously they wouldn't go into the SWAC because that's just for HBCUs.
Yeah.
But you have like the same conference that Samford is in, which also I believe has Chattanooga. The Southern Conference. Like you have all of those things.
Doesn't the Gulf South Conference have football?
The Gulf South Conference does. So then
They
never
stay in
mind.
the
You
South.
could stay in that. Yeah, no, you could do GFC.
Yeah, they just would stay there in the
Yeah.
Gulf South Conference, and they would be good. All right, let me get Hal in here quick because we got an interview coming up in the next segment. Hal, welcome to the show. How are you? Oh, wait a minute. That's not Hal. Hang on a second. I went in the wrong direction, Joe. That's hang on.
It's Paulie.
It's
Paulie.
Paulie.
It's Paulie in the Cape.
Oh, if I knew it was Paulie, I wouldn't take the call. No, I'm kidding. Paulie in the Cape. Paulie, welcome to the show. How are you? Talk to us, Paulie.
Hey,
Hey.
can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How you
All
doing?
right. Okay, it went kind of dead for a second. Anyways, what a game last night.
Spectacular.
I can't believe Mr. Cousins finally got it together and put a drive together to beat the Philly. A lot of my friends who are Philly friends are very, very disenchanted today.
Yeah, they should be, and it's going to be ugly. I'll be honest with you. You know how Philly media is. Philly, New York, those places, those big Northeastern cities, they aren't cutting anybody any slack. I mean, that's going to be ugly.
I'm telling you, they're already starting to look at another coach and looking at their contract right now.
Oh, there's no doubt.
It's like, I'm like, my God, they're like, forget it. It's
probably run the ball there at the end. I mean, not because you're worried about getting the clock down to 1 minute. I think you might get the first down. Let's run the ball.
Yeah, well,
you're gaining 4 or 5 yards of carry. I mean, they were running the ball good in that game.
I know. I mean, it was just amazing how all of a sudden, Mr. Cousins throwing the ball. The guys were on the same page. His wide receivers were helping him out. I mean,
he's not even 100%. He's not 100% yet either, because some of those passes were a little low and underthrown.
That new wide receiver had a great night. What's his name? Davos, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Number 1.
He was having a good game, and like I said, I couldn't believe they came back and won that game. I thought Philly was just going to wear them out.
Yeah.
But there you go, and. You forgot the best part of that song yesterday when they go boom, shaboom, boom, boom, shaboom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Sweet City Woman, man. That Sweet City Woman is one hell of a song, and that's good stuff.
Other than that, the Yankees better hold on to their lead so they can win the division.
I think they're in good shape. I mean, they're 3 games up. Go out west, just come back 3 games up, and it's over. Just tread water out there. I think if you go out there and tread water, you're fine. You don't have to do anything dramatic. Just go out there and tread water.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. And then we just wait for the division, and then we crank it up and just go right through.
Exactly. All right, man.
All right.
Good job, Ian.
Go Dolphins.
All right, here you. Now you're not getting Kirk Cousins. Last week we were giving you Kirk Cousins. Now you're not getting Kirk Cousins. All right, we'll get a break in here. When we come back, Beau Morgan joins us from the Falcons Radio Network. We'll get that in. LSU Lynch's. He's ticked off. This getting old, suckhorn wearing jackass. You get 1 day to wear that garbage. Hashtag LSU Lynch. Well, he's a Hazel Green fan. And, you did get whacked on Friday night. To the victor goes the spoils. And who knows? Maybe this is the only day I'm wearing this. Maybe not. All right, we'll be back. Beau Morgan's next. Tom Abraham Show.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-Sparky.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
It's fall, y'all, and at Woody Anderson Ford, we're ready for it. Football, hunting, hiking, we've got the rides to take you there. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we've got over 140 F-150s for you to choose from. XLTs, Lariats, all the way up to the Platinum. And right now you can get $4,750 total cash back on the 2024 F-150 at Woody Anderson Ford. Here in Huntsville, you see more than every day, and there's a good reason. They're the perfect size, do-it-all SUV for lots of folks. I'm talking about our Bronco Sport. From hauling kids and groceries to the spur-of-the-moment camping weekend, the Bronco Sport delivers. Choose from over 80 Bronco Sports starting at just $299 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $34.56 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends 9/30/24. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Come see us today and make it a Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
Waving London to the far side. Takes a snap. Kirk looks, sails it. Drake there. Caught! Touchdown Atlanta! Drake London!
Yeah, the most important part of that was I had Drake London on my fantasy team. And that iced the game for me. I'm just saying. I had Drake London. That gave me 17 points. That was just enough to beat Captain Cooldown. So I took Joe Hunk out last week, and I took Captain Cool out this week. So what I did basically was I completely destroyed the Morning Blitz. I have now beaten the Morning Blitz. Where's Bailey? I need to play him. Oh, no, wait a minute. He's in the other league. So I can't play their producer. I completely whacked the Morning Blitz with Drake London last night. I just want you to know that.
Technically, Christian McCaffrey did a lot of your work earlier last week.
What about you this week? You had 176 points, and you needed every one of them. You played a guy that had 153 points and lost by 20.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being that dude? 153 points, you get beat by 23.
So remember,
by a dude with a mohawk.
Remember this conversation once we get back into the potential playoffs and we may see each other again. Remember this talk and look at this team I have.
You're not scoring that against me because I play defense. I'm like the Falcons now. All right, I'm like I can play some defense. All right, speaking of the Falcons, Beau Morgan, Falcons Radio 92.9 over there as well. Morning show. We woke him up to do this hit with us. Beau is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Beau, welcome in. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, can I jump in on the fantasy talk real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Mike Johnson, who I co-host with, you guys know, played at University of Alabama. He and I joined a Dynasty Fantasy League last year, first year of the league's existence, with some guys he knew from University of Alabama and some of the guys that were on two-a-days at Hoover High School, the MTV show.
Yeah.
Get this. We win last night because of Jesse Bates' play on Devontae Smith in the end zone that strips the ball away that prevents a touchdown, and that the fact that Kirk Cousins led that drive last night to come back and win the game. It won us our game last night by 2 points.
How does the Jesse Bates strip? What do you get, points for a pass breakup?
No, they had Devontae Smith and we had Kirk Cousins.
Oh, you're saying if he catches it. Yeah, if he catches it, yeah.
That's right.
Right.
The touchdown drive and throw to Drake, that whole drive with the non-touchdown of Devontae Smith got us a 2-point victory. Pretty wild how that all connected. And, it made me a happy camper on the way home on a flight that landed around 3 something this morning and for my 6 a.m. radio show.
Well, now I understand why you had to take a nap. I had both Devontae Smith and Drake London and Dallas Goedert last night. So I had that. And the Captain Cool that I whipped is actually my youngest son who hosts with Joe in the, the morning blitz here from 9 to 11 Central Time. So I took both of those guys out in the last 2 weeks just to kind of show them who their daddy is.
I kind of love that. Just
Literally.
You're dominant early.
Literally who their daddy is. All right. What a night. I mean, let's start first of all with the defense, because this is the second week in a row where the Falcons played great defense. And that was, for the last 5 years, we've been looking for this team to play some defense, and they played some defense. They look really stout right now defensively, which is going to bode well in this suddenly very good NFC South.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. They came in last night with, they obviously played Justin Fields in week one, Tom, and they came in with only allowing 133 yards through the air. And I thought that for the most part, they did a good job of kind of limiting Jalen Hurts. When he throws the ball 30 times and completes 23 of them, but only for 183 yards and a touchdown, I think, and obviously the pick, I think you can say you're doing well. Yeah, A.J. Brown wasn't in there, but you still had Jahan Dotson, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, who you mentioned, and Saquon Barkley, and Kenneth Gainwell in the passing game. Those are all weapons. And Britton Covey had some catches last night as well.
Yeah.
So, but it's the bowing up in the red zone, Tom. I thought they did a phenomenal job against the Steelers, and just as good of a job last night at times. I just mentioned that play that Jesse makes on Devonta Smith. That ball's in the end zone. I'm sitting there watching. I'm there. That ball is in the end zone, and that's a closing speed thing by Jesse Bates to strip that ball out. That honestly probably was the difference in the game. I'm not going to sit here and say it's all great, though. We've got to bow up in the defensive front. We got gashed a little bit in their run game by Saquon. And, I said on our radio show with Mike Johnson, I said, Jalen Hurts seems to be a guy, he's coming in that game. He had thrown, coming into last night, his last 18 starts in the regular season, he had 25 touchdowns with 17 interceptions and 11 fumbles. He had another interception last night. It felt like he wasn't quite the same guy, but he decided last night he was going to be that guy he was in 2022, that he wasn't afraid to run and move around and make some plays. But the defense has been opportunistic. Matthew Judon got a sack again last night. He's now got a sack and a half. They need more pressure, but they seem to be a team that can come up and make plays. On that interception at the end of the game, Caden Ellis, some would call it a stunt. Some would call it it's really just a looping pass rush that he's the one that loops around from the inside and is able to put his helmet on Jalen Hurts, whether it affected the throw or not. It was definitely, Jalen Hurts definitely knew he was there, and he felt it. So not only did he feel the loss of throwing a pick, but he felt Caden Ellis's helmet right in his sternum.
Yeah, and then offensively, I mean, first of all, on the touchdown, how about the Drake London move that he puts on Darius Slay? You know what I mean? I mean, that's a quality corner, and he's shake and bake that guy into the corner. Now, I'm not a fan of him going all AK-47 on the entire crowd, after the game or after the touchdown. That is stupid, all right? That's just dumb. Some refs are going to call that. Other refs are going to just say, get off the field. Guys are doing that now. They got to stop that. You know what I mean? That is a ridiculous thing. But if I were Nick Sirianni, I'm making him kick off from the 20 because Sung-Ho Yu is making that kick all the time. 48 yards is nothing. He's making it 85, 90% of the time. I'm making him kick off from the 20 so I can get that ball closer to midfield to start that last drive of the game. That was a surprising decision. But, boy, Drake London, what a great move.
Well, I'll start with the Drake London stuff. That's as good of a move I've seen a wide receiver in this offense make since, we saw Julio Jones in his prime, right? 2017 Julio. That was an amazing move. Just the wherewithal to start that route. And Darius Slay gambled a little bit. And you're right, Darius Slay's a hell of a defensive back. And look, Quinyon Mitchell on the other side, he got burned twice on that final drive with Darnell Mooney. And Quinyon Mitchell hasn't stopped talking since the day he was drafted, but I think Darnell Mooney shut him up last night, at least for the time being, until next week. The celebration thing, real quick, I just got to say, I don't disagree with anything you said at all, but I'm baffled on how that can be called when they stop us on 4th down and C.J. Gardner-Johnson literally rips his helmet off in front of a referee, which is against the rules, which should be a penalty of some sort, even if it was a dead ball call, right?
Yeah.
It's still a penalty. And the referee throws the flag and the head referee picks it up. I think that, to me, was the most egregious part about Drake getting called. It's situational. If you can allow that, which is a blatant rule in the NFL, then how do you call what Drake did, considering that was a judgment call on what was too far in the celebration? You and I agree on maybe that was not, should have been done. But the reality is we've also seen guys in San Francisco do that exact celebration, not get that call. So we could discuss this one until the cows come home.
Well, I think they're trying to get it. They've seen it now a couple of times, and they're trying to get it, out and say, look, you can't do it. Remember when they took the throat slash out? Now, have you seen the replay of the helmet deal? Because I do believe the helmet was coming off, and they emphasize that. You don't think that the helmet was already kind of coming off? Now he could have reached up and pushed it back on instead of taking it off the rest of the way.
Well, the replay I saw, he takes his hands and assists the helmet in coming off.
Yes, he does. Yes.
Do I think it might have been coming off? I don't think you're wrong there, but you can't assist it. And I guess my point would be, if your helmet's coming off in a celebration and your helmet's not supposed to come off, isn't that a violation of the rules? Well, it's semantics. It really is.
Yeah.
It's just that how are we going to let one guy be emotional and have a moment we don't let another one? And that's kind of where, if you want to say it went too far, I understand, but you're now altering the game where you didn't alter it earlier, and you didn't want to alter it there, but now you want to alter it. So I think that's where it just kind of gets weird to me. The Younghoe Koo thing is a very good point, and one, that I don't know if that rule, and I'm assuming it hasn't. I don't know if that rule has changed with the new kickoff thing or not. I'm assuming it hasn't.
Yeah.
But you never know with the way.
You could take it on a kickoff. Yeah, you could push it. You could take it on a kickoff.
I saw Younghoe after the game when we were doing our stuff for the Falcons radio network, and I just looked at him and I said, "Hey, man," and he goes, "What's going on?" And I said, "That's clutch." And he goes, "Thanks," and just kept walking.
Yeah.
That was as clutch of an extra point when you got to cook that thing 47 yards. I'm not going to lie. When he first kicked it, I go, a little low.
Yeah.
And it just kept going.
Yeah. Darnell Mooney, giving him a shout. He is from our listening area, Gaston City High School, 6A Region 8 team. And is a guy that went on to Tulane. And, he hasn't really been, he was a 5th round draft pick, and, he was with the Bears for a few years, but man, he looked like a different dude. He looked like a difference maker, all of a sudden last night. I don't know if that's a one-off for that guy or what, but, certainly being on the opposite side of Drake London and having Kyle Pitts in there as well, and now having Kirk Cousins in there. We'll get to him in a minute. Darnell Mooney, we got to give him some love.
Yeah, I got to talk to Darnell. Me and Mike Johnson did during training camp, and I asked him, about being from that area and how he ended up in Tulane. He said, it's the only place that offered me.
Yeah.
And I said, oh. And he had that 1,000-yard season. I think it was 20 or 21 with the Bears. I think it was 21. And it hasn't been there since.
Right.
But, he's a guy that Kirk Cousins, speaking of which, wanted, as he wanted him there. He said, go get Darnell Mooney. And I thought Darnell Mooney last night showed why he was chosen in the offseason to be the 2 to the Drake as a 1, because they're different receivers. He gives you that deep threat, that run after the catch. Drake is a guy that isn't known for that. I think he has some of it in him in certain situations, but Drake London is a 50-50 ball guy. And I thought Darnell Mooney showed off those 2 catches, the first one for 21 yards that he had in that game-winning drive, and then the next one where he burns Quinyon Mitchell and was able to elude the tackle. And then you look at the play he calls a touchdown on. That's a hell of a throw by Kirk. He's back foot that throw, and Mooney catches it, and that was right where our booth was in front of us, and he's able to, break that tackle, and essentially he's walking in when he starts to do the somersault. I thought it was a little bit of a coming out party in a good way. Wasn't really involved in week 1. Just love what he can do as a route runner. The guy's a player. The one thing he's missed, and I don't want to go down the road of, I'm not trying to bash him, but the one thing he has missed is a quarterback that can get the ball out on time and accurately in his NFL career. Kirk Cousins, as he's knocking the rust off, that's who he's been, right?
Yeah.
And the more he gets back, and we'll get on down to him, because I got some thoughts on him last night as well. But that could be what we see more of. Now, we got to get – I thought the offensive line too, Tom, stepped up and played really well.
They were
outstanding.
outstanding.
I thought Gary had a bounce-back game.
Yeah, they were outstanding in the offensive line. Yeah, last week, Falcon Fan was we're shipping Kirk Cousins to Miami because, Mike Johnson's guy, Michael Penix, is ready to go now. And Cousins is old and rusty, and he sucks. So Miami needs a quarterback. Let's send Kirk Cousins after one game. We'll send Kirk Cousins to Miami and let Michael Penix be the quarterback. Last night, 20-29, clutch. You could tell that he's still a little rusty because some of those balls were a little bit underthrown and so on. But, 117 passer rating. And he looked like that dude last night. And then he says immediately after the game, I'm not even right yet. And that's got to make, all of a sudden this division, I mean, the Saints are out of their mind. Baker Mayfield's playing like I don't know what. And all of a sudden this division looks like it's a little tougher than we might have thought in the offseason. But certainly the Saints or the Falcons are right in this thing if Cousins is going to play like that.
Yeah, I want to take you to the end of the first half, Tom. And Cousins has a play where he has looks like Kyle Pitts coming open and some kind of crossing route on the goal line. And he also had Drake London, looks like he won on the inside and an inside breaking route. And I don't know what happened. I was trying to see, I saw pressure bearing down on him, but the ball fell through the end zone. Mm-hmm. And it looked during the first half. I texted Mike Johnson and I said, I feel like I'm watching a player that is lacking some confidence. Mm-hmm. And then you come out and you get the game to it's 10-9 and there's 3:15 left on the clock and you had just gotten a pass. You just gotten it's a third play in the drive, Tom, and the stat sheet will tell you that Kirk Cousins has a pass incomplete deep right to Ray McCloud. The play was Cousins drops back. Jalen Carter, who was completely neutralized other than maybe two plays last night, him and Jordan Davis. Jalen Carter beats Chris Lindstrom one-on-one and flushes Kirk to his right. Kirk scrambles, throws a deep incomplete, short hops a pass. It was essentially a throwaway because he didn't want to put it in harm's way at Ray McCloud.
Right.
The very next play, they come back and he hits Bijan for a negative play, but then he hits Pitts for 8. Then up comes the 4th and 4. He has all day in the pocket. Caleb McGarry does a phenomenal job. He stands in the pocket, hits Ray. You got a first down, and then comes the throw to Darnell Mooney that scores the first touchdown off his back foot. He's kind of moving backwards in the pocket, off his back foot, throws a dime. I felt like whatever clicked to me in that play where he rolled out, where Jalen Carter pressured him, I don't know what it was. It could be in my mind. It might be my fantasy thing where I'm making this up. But to me, from that moment on, I saw a guy, Tom, that played with complete confidence in the pocket. It was like night and day from the guy I saw earlier and in the first game. So I don't know if he just felt good. If something clicked, he felt like, I got this. I know as an athlete, when a small time high school athlete, I know when something would happen in a game and it would just click and you'd be like, yeah, man, I got this.
Yeah. It's like being on a golf course and you're in the zone. All of a sudden, every 9-iron is, stuck in there 5 feet from the hole and the drives are straight. And, he was definitely in the zone. Also in the zone was Bijan Robinson, 97 yards, 6.9 yards per carry. Looks like he's shot out of a cannon every time he takes the ball. Man, if that dude's going to run like that, oh man. I mean, that was a great job by the offensive lineman. I know that Mike Johnson must have been losing his mind over those holes, but I just love the way Robinson is at full speed by third step.
Oh yeah, he is. He can hit the hole quickly. He's getting that patience, that quick patience that some of these guys have. I thought Tyler Algier ran the ball really well also last night. The play of the game for me for Bijan Robinson, I don't know. I tweeted it earlier. I don't know if you've seen it, but it ends up being a sack. Chris Lindstrom gets beat on the play one-on-one by Milton Brown, and it was in the red zone. But, we had a lot of conversations, I'm sure you did too, about Kyle Pitts and players chipping TJ Watt. Well, Nolan Smith, the second-year player from Georgia, who myself included, Falcons fans wanted here and instead of Bijan in that draft, Nolan Smith's coming on the edge with Caleb McGarry, but Bijan Robinson knocked his in the dirt. I mean, he put him on the ground. You have to go watch this if you haven't seen it. He cleaned his block. And so all these people that want to tell me that Tyler Algier is a physical back and Bijan Robinson's not physical enough for inside running or any of this chip blocking, any of that stuff, you go watch that play. And I want you to tell me how physical Bijan Robinson is. He also made Quinyon Mitchell look foolish earlier in the game because, it was a yard sale when he got done with him, the way he put his foot in the dirt and just juked him. So Bijan Robinson, I feel like his last night just kind of felt like, people in Atlanta know me, but do you know me does the nation know who I am? Did they forget about me since I played in all those national games in Texas? If they didn't, here I am, because that felt like a coming out party last night to me.
I'm watching it now. I got to go to Beau Morgan's site and see that block. He just jacks that guy. There's no doubt about it. Beau Morgan has been our guest just hours after getting off a plane from Philadelphia. Beau, I appreciate you as always, man. Great stuff. Exciting win. And it's on to Kansas City next week, and they're going to have to be hitting on all cylinders to get that one.
Yeah, look, gotta bring that confidence in here. Got to turn the page. First thing tomorrow, you got to walk in that building, and those players know this, and it's all about Kansas City. It's going to be exciting. Another primetime game Sunday night.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people I'd wake up for after only getting 45 minutes the night before, but Thom Abraham show is that.
Well, we are kind of a thing, so, that's important. So, Billy, I appreciate you, man.
Always.
Squid Billy. Beau Morgan. All right, man. What a tremendous job by him. Always there for us. Always there. Squid Billy always shows up for us. There's no doubt about it. All right, we got a break. We'll come back. Phone lines go open. Got more coming up right after this on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
And back foot throw. Caught Mooney. 15, 10, Darnell 5. Waltzes into the end zone.
The call on Falcons radio, 22-21, the win over the Eagles last night in Philadelphia. Kirk Cousins led a last-minute drive for the Falcons. It connected with Drake London on a 7-yard touchdown with 34 seconds left to win it. Jalen Hurts had his final pass intercepted by Jesse Bates to seal Atlanta's win. Philadelphia was favored by 5.5 heading in. The under was 43. Atlanta paid plus 198 on the upset. Both teams are 1-1 with the result. The Falcons host the Chiefs Sunday night. The Eagles visit New Orleans. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezer's free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. We're dropping into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A fantastic Wednesday afternoon. Once again, we're talking about plenty of sunshine. Temperatures going to be below average for late September. Highs only climbing into the low and mid-80s. We should be consistently climbing into the upper 80s. We're dropping into the mid-60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. We are going to be a little bit warmer across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Yeah, go ahead, Facebook. Knock my show off there. I don't care. Freebird. I wonder if we played the violin version, bagpipe version of Freebird, whether that would happen. I wonder if that's like licensed music that we couldn't use or whether that would happen or not. This segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford and the award-winning service department for all your routine checkups for your Ford or other vehicle. It's Woody Anderson Ford. If you got a bigger problem, they're expert service technicians. They're going to quickly diagnose it. They're going to use state-of-the-art tools to resolve it. And whether it's preventative maintenance issues like belts and hoses and fluids, or something bigger like air conditioner work or brake work or tranny repair, they can do it all at Woody Anderson. If you can't get in there until nights or weekends, also, it's the Quick Lane Service Department. And they have their mobile service. I just got a $50 card in the mail for the mobile service from Woody Anderson Ford, discount for using the mobile service as well. So that's cool too. It's Woody Anderson Ford. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and learn more about my friends there. The only place I have gone to in the in the Tennessee Valley. I mean, that's it. Woody Anderson Ford. All right, we're going to take another break here and get our clock straightened out. And then when we come back, we will set you up for hour number 2. We got an active hour number 2. We will have some open lines in hour number 2 as well. We'll get that all going for you. You're listening to The Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to The Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezer's free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. We're dropping into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A fantastic Wednesday afternoon. Once again, we're talking about plenty of sunshine. Temperatures going to be below average for late September. Highs only climbing into the low and mid-80s. We should be consistently climbing into the upper 80s. We're dropping into the mid-60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. We are going to be a little bit warmer across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Now, welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. So I'm in the middle of grading the trifecta. This segment of the show is brought to you by TOC, where thousands of area residents have received world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists. TOC, taking care of the entire Tennessee Valley. Don't forget, on Friday nights, the TOC clinic every Friday night, after-hours clinic every Friday night from, I think it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock to, no, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock on Friday nights down downtown Huntsville is where you have it. Those of you that are listening in Tennessee, there is a TOC in Fayetteville as well, so keep that in mind. So, Joe, I'm in the process of grading the trifecta, right? So you had to have Alabama minus the 16.5 against Wisconsin, covered easily. You had to have South Carolina plus the 6.5, which they covered against LSU. Probably should have won that football game. You needed to have the Atlanta Falcons plus the 6.5. They won the game outright. And then the weight of the baby was 7 pounds, 6 ounces. And there's a lot of people that are all over the weight of the baby, 7.7, 7.8, really close, but they don't have the trifecta right. So they're not getting fed. I got a couple so far that have gotten the trifecta right. And then there's my cousin Vinny. Vincenzo gives me, in those picks, he gives me Bama minus 16.5. He gives me South Carolina plus 6.5. He gives me 7 pounds, 9 ounces for the baby, which is within 3 ounces. And he gives me Georgia. Georgia. What do I do with Georgia? I mean, do you think he meant now I don't know that I could get inside the head of my cousin Vinny. Georgia, Kentucky was not in the trifecta. It was Bama, South Carolina, and Atlanta to win. Do you think he said Georgia, meaning the Falcons?
The Georgia Falcons.
The Georgia Falcons?
The Georgia Falcons. Yep. That's what he meant. It was the Georgia Falcons.
Or he might have got it wrong and thought it was Georgia, Kentucky game was in there. I don't know what to do. I don't want to, theoretically, I don't know that I can pay a guy that picks Georgia to win the Atlanta Philadelphia game.
Well, who's second? Is there a second that was?
Well, right now I got a couple of guys. I got a ways to go.
Got a ways to go.
Got to grade them all.
Yeah, I think saying the wrong name is going to eliminate you.
I think so. I know that Vinny's probably listening. I told you why he's my cousin Vinny, right? You got that?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I know he's probably listening because he's a pretty faithful listener and he's a good guy. I'd love to feed him, but he picked Georgia. You know what I mean? And Georgia wasn't part of the trifecta. So I'm flummoxed a little bit. I'm thinking it's not going to happen. Another guy who missed the trifecta threw in a suggestion for the Miami Dolphins that they hadn't heard of it, which I think might be kind of sexy. He says, I'd like to see the Dolphins go get Mac Jones, who's sitting on the bench in
they want to win,
Jacksonville. Though, right? Well, rookie of the year. I mean, you don't think Mac Jones in that offense with that coach would do well? Really?
No, Mac Jones is not a good NFL quarterback.
He looked awfully good as a rookie.
And then after?
He looked bad. But Tua looked bad as a rookie and then looked good.
Looked really good. It's just it's Tua had a lot more upside. I think again, even Bryce Young has way more upside than what Mac is.
Well,
I just don't think that Mac is a good NFL quarterback. Not college, but NFL.
That would be the first choice. I mean, if you could get him, if they were willing to part with Bryce Young. But, of course, they also have those issues of cap space, too. It's not like baseball where you can pay a luxury tax.
No, they only have $7 million available.
That's it. They could get me or Joe to come for $7 million. But
Tannehill.
Tannehill, yeah. All right, hour number one's in a hopper. Coming up next, Kennington, Lloyd, Smith. 3 names, 1 team. Alabama from The Athletic. He's next on the Thom Abraham Show.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative. Located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville, our brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, our diverse menu has something to please every palate. With a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, we invite you to savor the unique flavors of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative. Call 256-678-7036. The Brewers Cooperative.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have the solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, what man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation, walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
You can find them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Huntsville/The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins believes last night's comeback win over the Eagles can change the tale of the season. It gives them something to build on and gives their group some resolve. Down 6 late, Cousins led Atlanta on a game-winning 6-play, 70-yard scoring drive that ended with a 7-yard touchdown pass to Drake London. 34 seconds left. The victory is certainly crucial for the now 1-1 Falcons. They've got a tough stretch the next couple of weeks. Chiefs, Saints, and Buccaneers. Eagles receiver A.J. Brown, who did not play last night, told ESPN's Lisa Salters he expects to miss a couple more weeks with an injured hamstring. Doesn't believe the injury's serious. Baseball, Mets shortstop Francisco Lindor expecting to start physical activity in the next day or two, depending how his back feels. Should be back before the regular season ends. An MRI revealed no structural damage to his back. The Mets holding the final NL wildcard spot.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life?
It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog,
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. Glad that you are with us on this Top 10 Tuesday. I do have a Top 10 coming up for you in just a few minutes. We're going to take a look at where do NFL players come from? What city, what state, and per capita, what state produces the most NFL players? So we'll have that all in our list in a few minutes, and we'll get the phone lines going for you as well. But right now, a chance to talk to our regular Tuesday Alabama guest, Kennington Lloyd Smith III, and he covers Alabama and college football for The Athletic. He's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Kenny, welcome back. How are you?
Good. How are you?
So if there's a little dude, down the road, would that be a Kennington Lloyd Smith IV, do you think? I mean, you going to roll with that, or are you going to break the trend here?
Yeah, that's something, I have to talk about with my wife, but we'll see if she's cool with it. I'm not tied to a fourth, but, if she's cool with it, then, we might end up going that route.
Did they ever call you like Trip when you were a kid? Because I got a son that's a third, and we called him Trip for a while, and then we don't anymore.
Right. Well, so here's the crazy thing. So my entire life up until I got to Georgia, I was known as Kennington to my friends, to my family, to anybody who met me, Kennington. Yeah. So as you know, my Twitter name is Skinny Kenny. So when I got to UGA, people who I was going to college with thought that my actual name was Kenny. So I just let it ride. Like, I was like, okay, it's whatever. So people were calling me Kenny. They knew my name was Kenny, but people called me Kenny for short. Yeah. So then my parents come and visit me my first month on campus, and somebody called me Kenny, and they looked past me like they were talking to somebody else. They were like, there's no way that people are not calling you by your full name. They that's something that they're still kind of not over, that people kind of, call me Kenny now. So never Trip, never Trey, anything like that. It's always been my full name, but now it's Kenny for short.
Well, yeah, because now I feel bad. Like if mom and dad are listening or whatever, and I'm calling you Kenny after. I always call you Kennington Lloyd Smith when I introduce you, but then I call you Kenny. You know what I mean? Because you're Skinny Kenny. I mean, that's just the way you roll, I think. You could have been Skinny Kennington on Twitter, but I don't think, Skinny Kennington, they would have thought that's a very royal name. It's a regal name. I mean, I don't know if your folks have some, mansion up in Gwinnett or something like, or wherever you're at, because Kennington is a name that you give to somebody that's like royalty.
Yeah, it does. It is, I don't know if you're a Game of Thrones person, but it does sound like I'd be like, I'd be inside the Red Keep. Like I would be, in the court, like Lord or something like that. But, family name. So, I like it. Obviously it's unique, but, my parents, they wouldn't hold it against you that you call me Kenny. So many other people have done it now. They've kind of tried to numb themselves to it.
I was not so much a Game of Thrones person, but my wife roped me into Downton Abbey back a few years ago, and I ended up watching it one summer. We binged it, and Kennington could be a Downton Abbey type name too. Just saying, Could be. You never know. Yeah, might have been. All right. So the Crimson Tide go up there. There's not a lot to grouse about when they go up there and do what they did to Wisconsin. I mean, the difference in speed, the difference in just sheer power was on display. But again, a little bit too much with the penalties. Not the perfect game that they want to have. Certainly, I don't understand Tim Brando. I don't know if you saw Tim Brando's top 15 college football teams. Yeah. He does not have Alabama in the top 15, and I'm like, Timmy, what the hell are you doing, man? I guess one bad half or half and a half against South Florida was enough for him to not think they're a top 15 team. But for the most part, man, that was just very impressive all the way across the board. Just got to clean up, a couple of things. But for the most part, it was, it was pretty solid effort.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most encouraging thing, if you're an Alabama fan, is that you saw improvement week over week. There were things that hurt them in the South Florida game that were problems, and you did not see those same things hurt them in the same way that they did against Wisconsin. I think you look at the offensive line is kind of where it starts and ends, where it was a group that had a really rough day against South Florida, a lot of penalties, a lot of pressure on Jalen Milroe. You get Caden Proctor back, that obviously helps, but even him coming back in his first game, it seemed seamless. I mean, the offensive line dominated and pass coverage, they dominated on the ground. Much fewer penalties than they had a week ago. So you're seeing that type of improvement week over week, which you want to see. And at the end of the day, Wisconsin is probably not a great Big Ten team, and they did lose their quarterback. But this was a test for Alabama, the biggest that they've had all year, going on the road for the first time. It was a stadium that, at least in the beginning, was into it before Tyler Van Dyke got hurt. So they did what you wanted them to do. They went on the road. They dominated an opponent. Their quarterback went down. Alabama left no doubt. They kind of stepped on them. So that's what you wanted to see, and they're in a good spot headed into the bye, I think.
Yeah, really only 4 penalties. I think you get the sense, because a couple of them were in critical moments, that you get the sense that it was worse than that, but really only 4 penalties. They were for 40 yards. And I get the Tyler Van Dyke thing, and he goes down, and I hate that he went down, and I know he was their starter, but Braden Locke is not a slouch. I mean, that was a hell of a battle between Tyler Van Dyke and Braden Locke as to who was going to start for them. So it wasn't like, they brought in some dude that had never taken a snap before once Van Dyke went down.
Yeah, and that is true, but it was, I think for him, it was probably like the psychological aspect of like, you try to stay ready, but then it's just kind of like you feel like the offense is rolling. They're kind of gaining some momentum. Quarterback goes down. It's like, all right, now you're in against Alabama. And his first few passes just kind of lended itself to you knowing like, okay, they're probably not going to have a lot of confidence trying to throw the ball and push the ball downfield, which if you're trying to attack Alabama's defense, that's what you want to do. You want to try to push it downfield, push it vertically, try to test their DBs. Wisconsin just had very little confidence in that happening, and that just kind of set their offense back. But you are right. I mean, he was, I believe, a 4-star recruit and somebody who, played a little bit. So it's not, I guess, like your typical backup with like 10 career snaps. But I would have liked to have seen Alabama against Tyler Van Dyke for a full game. But I will, add the caveat that it probably would have resulted in the same result. Maybe Wisconsin would have scored more points than 10, but there was no way Alabama was going to lose the game.
No, there is no way. 407 yards on the day offensively, only 56 plays, so not a lot of plays there. If there is any kind of a concern, of those 56 plays, 17 of them were Jalen Milroe passes and 14 of them were Jalen Milroe runs. 31 of the 56 plays, they are really reliant on him. Now, Jam Miller, looked great with 71 yards on just 9 touches, and Justice Haynes, I thought it was comical yesterday. At one point in time, Kalen DeBoer during the presser yesterday gets asked about Justice Haynes, and I'm sure he just didn't hear the questioner properly. But his first thing was then asked about Justice Haynes, and the 2 carries, and he said, "Who?" I was like, "Yeah, exactly. Who?" What happened to Justice Haynes? But it just kind of worked out. I mean, he had ripped off a 12-yard run, and another one that was for 5 yards, and we never saw Justice Haynes again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you think about what Robert Gillespie said in fall camp when he was asked about this. He said, at the end of the day, we're going to ride the hot hand. And I think it's undeniable, even going back to the South Florida game, that if we're talking about them two comparison, Jam Miller has had the hot hand for the last few weeks. So they're kind of riding them. And then DeBoer noted that several of Justice Haynes would be opportunities or RPOs. So it's kind of like Jalen just decided to pass on several of those. So
right.
those were kind of opportunities taken away from Justice. But both of them are averaging really good yards per carry, yards per touch. I think Alabama's run game is in a really good spot. Interior wise, they can block really well. What they've been doing with how they've been pulling the guards and the linemen has almost resulted in an explosive play every time. So it still feels like a 1A, 1B situation, but I do think Jan Miller is the 1A if we're doing like a who's 1A and who's 1B. But I think there's going to be opportunities for both of those guys.
And this is the first time we saw the offensive line that we expect to see in operation, and I think that showed. And now, it was 3 lines in 3 games. I don't think we're going to see a fourth different setup, for Georgia. This will be the line, and now they'll have 2 weeks to get ready and so on. I think those things are all positive as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to feel like Alabama's in a good spot heading into the Georgia game. We'll see where they are health-wise, but if you're an Alabama fan, you watched what happened with Georgia and Kentucky. That has to really be encouraging, and not from just the standpoint of, Georgia looked vulnerable against Kentucky, but if you watched why Georgia was vulnerable, it's because they were being beaten on both lines of scrimmage. And if you're Alabama, you're watching that game, if you're an Alabama fan, you're thinking to yourself, our defensive line has been probably the best unit on the team this season, outside of Jalen Milroe as an individual, but the defensive line has been great through 3 weeks. The offensive line is healthy. It looks like they gained a lot of confidence against Wisconsin. You feel like you can win the line of scrimmage battle against Georgia at home based off of where you are and based off of what you saw against Kentucky. So that's going to be, I think, the matchup that's probably going to dictate that game in 2 weeks. And if you're looking at maybe who's trending up and who's trending down, I would say Alabama's trending up.
The third option at back is Richard Young went out with an injury, and Qua Rousseau also going out from the defense, a linebacker. What do we know about those injuries? Is there an expectation that they could be ready for Georgia, or is this going to be a game or two?
Yeah, I think Richard might be a little bit of a wait and see. Kalen DeBoer kind of had he's when you have these coaches like Saban for a while or whoever, you get a coach for a long time, you can kind of decipher what they're saying about injuries. DeBoer is kind of like a tougher case to crack. Like, I feel like we're trying to figure out exactly what he means, but just kind of reading the tea leaves, he said, Cole Adams, positive things. They don't want to rush him too much. He said the same thing about Qua Rousseau. He said positive things. I think towards the end of the week, he might be, kind of with us. So that sounds positive. Malachi Moore, he said, we've had a really positive prognosis in the first few days. He's going through the protocol.
That's the most important
positive. Yeah. Exactly. And then he gets to Richard Young. He's like, I'm not so sure about Richard. So it's like, okay, there's the difference there of like, we feel like a couple of guys are probably trending closer. Richard is probably a little bit more of a week to week to doubtful. So it's kind of hard to decipher what DeBoer is saying when he's talking about injuries, but just kind of that was my interpretation of what he said.
Yeah, it's interesting. He speaks more than Saban ever did. Of course, you get to see the coordinators every week as well, but they still know how to kind of say a lot of words that without saying anything.
Right, exactly. Exactly, like answering the question, but not saying anything at the same time.
Coach Speak 101 is what you see there. There's such an interesting history between Alabama and Georgia. Of course, both will have the week off this week, getting ready for that game. But such an interesting history as it relates to the line for these games. It was a few years ago when Alabama went to Georgia and was an underdog for the first time in like 58 games. And it was Georgia broke out the black jerseys and all that stuff. And Alabama went over there and just stomped a mud hole in them, and it was like, wait a minute. I thought, Alabama was an underdog. I thought it was, they were starting to recede.
Right.
In this game, I don't know if you knew this or not, but this Alabama will be an underdog at home for the first time in 17 years. You have to go back to Nick Saban's first year at Alabama. They were a dog to LSU, who went on to win the national championship. They were underdog to LSU, and in that game, LSU actually had to score 2 touchdowns late to win that football game by 7 over the Tide. The Tide were leading that thing. I think it was 31-24, something like that, real late in the game, and LSU scored twice to win that game. So this is kind of an interesting thing. My guess is, from what I'm seeing, that Alabama is going to be like a 3 or a 4, maybe a 4.5 point underdog at home against a Georgia team that went to Kentucky and survived with their life there. It's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, it is. And I would say that those kind of things will probably work in Alabama's favor.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you're talking about psychology and trying to use anything to motivate a team, that's something that is prime material. And I mean, I guess I can understand why Georgia would be a favorite. I guess if you look at their team top to bottom, maybe talent-wise or certain positions, you probably feel better about some of Georgia's players than Alabama's. But I think it's going to be a really close game, low-scoring game. And, you know, going back to my last point, I mean, the pressure is on Georgia to win. I think there's inherent pressure, obviously, from Alabama to win within Alabama's fan base. But externally, not many people are probably expecting Alabama to beat Georgia or to go on a run where they win the SEC and win the national championship like a Georgia is expected to do so. So Georgia had problems with Alabama when Nick Saban wasn't the coach. Now Nick Saban is not the coach anymore. There are some people that think that conventional wisdom will tell you that Georgia should take a step forward in this rivalry based off of that. So that's something that they're going to have to play to, and it kind of gives Alabama some house money. And it'll be really interesting to see how both teams play if one team is looser than the other when they do finally kick off.
Yeah, it will be extremely interesting. And there's a lot of pressure on Kirby Smart. I mean, you know, he was 1-4 against Saban, and so now he needs to do something. I mean, he starts out his career against Kalen DeBoer with a loss, and then, you know, all those wins and everything, that's fine. It just seems to be that they struggle with Alabama, which is not a great team to be struggling with if you are Georgia. And Georgia has a tough schedule. Alabama has a tough schedule. This game really goes a long ways. The conventional wisdom is that both these teams are playoff teams. But, you know, if Alabama loses this game and they got a trip to Tennessee and they got Missouri coming in, they got a trip to LSU, they got a trip to Oklahoma, you know, all of those things coming up, you know, there's no given for that. And then it's the same thing a little bit when you look at Georgia. They have to go to Texas. If they get tagged with a loss here, they still got to go to Texas. They got to go to Ole Miss. They got Tennessee coming in, and Tennessee looks, you know, pretty decent. You know, this is a huge game for both of these teams.
Right. Yeah. I mean, exactly. When you're talking about strength of schedule, it's like, yeah, Georgia has a tough schedule. It's like Alabama, when you talk about preseason perception, it's like Alabama had a tough schedule, yes, but their schedule now probably looks a lot tougher when you think about how much Tennessee has ascended since the start of the year. Like that game at Tennessee is almost or basically at the same level as Georgia going to Texas at this point. Like if you imagine Tennessee, if they're undefeated by that point, they're going to be probably in the top 5, maybe top 3. Bama's going to be in the same realm. It's going to be shades of that 2021 game, 2022 game, the Jalen Hyatt game, whichever year that was. It's going to be that type of energy, maybe even plus. So two really tough schedules. This is going to be a really consequential game. You're right. I think the SEC is in a position, though, where I think they're looking at maybe 5 or 6 playoff teams. So it's going to be one of those games that's going to be consequential in terms of maybe how we view those teams or how we view the rivalry or who we think is the new standard in the sport. Less about the playoff, I think, at this point, because there's so much way to go. But it's going to be a huge confidence booster for either team, whoever comes out on top.
Well, that's why the game of the week this week is this Tennessee at Oklahoma game, because now we're going to see something. All right, let's see something. Tennessee's a 7.5-point favorite there. They go to Oklahoma and rock those guys, and Oklahoma is not a great team. I mean, they seem to struggle every week.
7.5 feels low.
Yeah, it does. Isn't that something? I mean, that's what it is. It's 7.5. You feel like Tennessee will win that game by 2 touchdowns. But if they go in there and that's a game, you know, then all of a sudden that changes. But if they rock them, then they go to Arkansas and get Florida at home. And the way those teams look, yeah, they will be undefeated by the time Alabama gets to Knoxville. And they're liable to tear the goalpost down before the game if that happens. You know, it would be like no goalpost. Yeah.
The atmosphere will be electric, especially if, let's say, Alabama drops one to Georgia and Tennessee is the favorite going into that game. I don't believe they were the favorite. The Jalen Hyatt game, that was just kind of like that was just like Tennessee's belief, and they were just rocking like we're just going to set the game. Now imagine that same game where Tennessee has all the confidence and they're, let's say, number 2 or 3 in the country and night game, and they're going to be favorites, and this is going to be Yeah, I think it's going to be probably a more electric atmosphere than the game 2 years ago.
They were
Tennessee's undefeated at that point.
Alabama was an 11-point favorite in that game, by the way. In fact, they were an 11-point favorite in that game, and they were 11-point favorite at LSU, and they lost both of those. Were the two games they lost that year in 2022. So
I think a lot of things would have to happen for Alabama to be an 11-point favorite over Tennessee this year.
Tennessee would be, if they were both undefeated, if Alabama had even would have win over Georgia, and then they beat Vanderbilt and South Carolina. I think if Tennessee were to beat Oklahoma, they beat Arkansas and Florida. I think Tennessee would be a 2 or 3 point pick, in that game. It would be something like that.
It would be a pick. It would be a pick 'em at best.
Yeah.
I don't think Bama would ever be a favorite. Would be a favorite in that situation.
I don't think they'd be a favorite there on the road. All right. So, what does the off week look like for Kennington Lloyd Smith? Do you head over to Oklahoma? Are they sending you anywhere, or do you get to sit in the Barca Lounger, put your feet up, and do like the rest of us and just wear out a remote?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna be chilling. I'm actually going up to Charlotte this weekend. One of my childhood friends bought a home, so it's housewarming. So I'll be in Charlotte for that. I might have family up there too. So yeah, I'm just gonna go up to Charlotte, catch a vibe, watch some football. It's gonna be kind of crazy. No Alabama and no Georgia on the same weekend. It's like,
are they gonna let you watch Tennessee? Are they gonna let you watch a Tennessee Oklahoma game?
Yeah, we all went to Georgia, so we're gonna
so
be
y'all dudes.
watching,
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be watching the SEC. So it's gonna be fun. I don't know what time Iowa plays. I'm gonna have to maybe sneak off to the side and catch that game. But yeah, looking forward to a relaxing week.
Do we get to talk to you next week, being that you are a Bulldog? I mean, this is a thing now. All right. I mean, do we get to talk to you next week? When your Georgia Bulldogs are playing the team that you cover, Alabama.
Yeah, you can talk to me.
Okay.
I feel like I've told it down the middle since we've been on.
But I wouldn't blame you. You're a Bulldog. I wouldn't blame you if you snuck into the stadium in the press box in red and black underwear. I would understand that. But you are covering Alabama.
Yeah, it's funny. Last year, when Georgia played Bama in the SEC championship, a lot of my friends from school were like, "Who you're going for? Who do you want to win?" And it's like, I don't really cheer for teams. But the way I described it was like, if Georgia wins, then yeah, my alma mater won. They probably would have won 3 in a row. Yeah. And if Alabama wins, I'm going to the Rose Bowl, all expenses paid. Yeah. So I'm not going to shed any tears either way. And Alabama won. I got to go to the Rose Bowl, so I didn't shed any tears for the Dogs.
Yeah,
so
don't.
I'll be good either way.
Don't be. Look, you don't openly cheer in the press box, obviously, but don't be embarrassed to say that you are what you are. And that's okay. It's because people who think that just because we work in the business that we don't, if we don't have a rooting interest, if we don't love this and have passion for this, it's a very hard job to do. So it's okay to have a team. It's okay that is your, it's like our morning show guy went to Iowa, and that he's a Hawkeye, and so that's it. When at the end of the day, he's a Hawkeye, but we still can do an objective job and still have your rooting interest. So I don't hold it against you. All right. So
yeah, for sure. And your morning guy, me and him need to have a conversation. I want to know what he thinks about the Tim Lester offense.
I will absolutely set that up. Yeah, he's definitely an Iowa Hawkeye that I was halfway through that Iowa State game. I was ready to say that Iowa was was the second best team in the Big Ten, and then they lose to Iowa State. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, I just want to say last year they had the 133rd offense in the country. This year they had the 54th offense in the country.
Well, there you go. And with the defense that they play, that should help them out.
Yeah, we'll just keep them in the back pocket of, and Tim Brando's list. They can be right there next to Alabama on the playoff bubble.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Let him say.
Alabama and Northern Illinois, just outside the top 15. I'm like, okay. All right. And you look at that top 15 of his, and Tim's a friend. He's been on the show, but still, you look at the top 10 even, and every one of those teams had some period of time against a group of 5 opponent where they looked melancholy, and Georgia,
right.
Look at what happened to Georgia, yet they stay at number 2. And, Texas didn't even look great in week 1 against the, Sisters of the Poor, whoever they were playing. It took them a while to pull away. All Alabama has done is completely obliterated Western Kentucky and played a sloppy 3 quarters against South Florida and then blew them away in the 4th quarter, and went to Wisconsin and easily won a game and scored 40-plus points again. And how you say that that's not a top 15 team, I mean, you're just being a hater now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Is he an AP voter? I don't know.
No, he is not. He's
Okay,
not on it.
well.
It doesn't matter because he's not, as long as he's not on the committee. That's the only thing that matters is the committee. The
Right,
rest of these polls are
yeah.
crazy.
Is he on any
No,
committees where he could see
nothing
some results?
official.
Okay.
You can't do anything
All right,
official.
well, then we're safe.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Have a great weekend chilling in Charlotte.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Text window. Your producer is wrong on dissing Mac. He has the perfect skill set for the Dolphins. Bill. All right, Bill's not happy with you, Joe.
That's great.
It's an opinion.
It is an opinion.
It's just an opinion.
It's also the right one. Me and 31 other teams believe the same thing.
It's like telling them, if I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, phone lines are open. You want to react to that, you can react to that. Phone lines are open the rest of the way. 256-576-4977 will get you into the show. We have a top 10 conversation to get into with you as well. I am Thom Abraham. Back with more right after this of the Thom Abraham Show.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezers free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Looking for your next adventure to be out of this world but don't have enough money to buy a spaceship and leave orbit? Well, look no further than Divergence VR theme park off of Governor's Drive Southwest in Huntsville, Alabama. Are zombies more your style? How about driving your favorite cars on the world's fastest track? Or maybe a gorilla game that has you climbing up tall trees to escape other gorillas? Wait, that's actually a thing? Huh. Would you look at that? For whatever adventure you can dream of, call 256-203-4128 to get your VR adventure started now.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance Center. Owen Home Appliance Center featuring the biggest names in home appliances, plus some you may not even know. But you know what? They've got tremendous value. Go on down to that Lacey Spring showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, and you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear dishwashers washing and freezers freezing and cookies will be baked in the oven for you. And Mike Owen will even do a little load of laundry for you so you can see how quiet the washers and dryers are down there at Owen Home Appliance Center. And don't forget, with hunting season just around the corner, you might want to get one of those really nice name brand chest freezers, deep freezers, to put them deer in. You know what I mean? You're going to need that a little bit. Get that deer processed and put them in there. And they've got them. And right now you can still get a $50 gift certificate towards the purchase of Wagyu beef down there at Owen Home Appliance. Owen Home Appliance Center, say it with me, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center, okay? And you can get the deep freezer that's got the real tree pattern on the side of it as well. Joe, do you hunt at all? Have you ever hunted?
Always. I've never hunted, but I've always wanted to bow hunt.
I haven't in years, and I think that this year I'm going to go deer hunting. I'm pretty sure. I got a buddy that's got a very fertile plot of land in Tennessee that's got deer on it all the time, and I think I'm going to go and deer hunt this year. I think two of my sons took deer last year, and off of this property, one of them was like the size of a dog. I'm not shooting a little deer. All right, I didn't have spots or anything. You know, that's a good point. I don't know.
It's a really tiny deer.
I hope it wasn't a dog. Well, it was like a big dog, but it was a small deer. It was not big enough. It was not a deer that I would take a shot at, okay? I'm just going to say, and if he's listening now, he knows which one he is. One of them got a little bit bigger deer. Neither one of them had horns. If I'm shooting I want a buck. One of them was a spike, I think. I want a buck. I want a rack on my deer. You know what I mean? I want a little bit of a rack.
Yeah. I mean, a good rack is always best.
Always looking for a good rack.
You always want to make sure that you're close enough so that you can see the good rack.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's what I want. All right. Joe, we've got winners in our Friday trifecta. Only two guys could put together Alabama, South Carolina, and Atlanta. All right. Auburn Mike picks up a point on the big board, and he had 7 pounds, 1 ounce for baby Leo, who showed up on Friday during our game. And Bama Chris picks up a point on the big board with Alabama, South Carolina, and the Falcons, but he had the baby at 9 pounds, 6 ounces. I told you, my daughter's petite. She's little. So Auburn Mike is closest to the baby's weight. So do we have any applause over there? I don't have any applause over here because I'm over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Clapping. That's all I got for you.
Golf applause?
Yeah, no, I wasn't ready for that. Nope.
All right. So congratulations to Auburn Mike. 7 pounds, 1 ounce. He was only off by 5 ounces. You think about how little 5 ounces is. That's not bad. So good job by him. He'll get the chow on the deal, and he picks up the 3 points on the big board, and the other dude will get a point on the big board as well. So congratulations to those guys. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's straighten out the clock because I'm going to go into the Tuesday top 10, and I went long with Kennington. I think that's kind of a cool name, Kennington. I know my grandson's not Leonardo. My one son keeps calling him Leonardo. He's not. He's just Leo.
No, Leonardo would have been awesome.
I don't think so. Leonardo.
He's the leader of the Ninja Turtles. He is awesome.
I think he also liked other dude turtles, didn't he? Is that a rumor? I thought that one of them turtles was a little, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I thought one of those turtles was like down with other dude turtles.
No.
You sure?
No.
Not Leonardo?
I'm not 100% sure. I've never seen any of that in any Ninja Turtle comics.
I thought Leonardo was a gay turtle.
No. He's the leader of the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
No, I don't think. No.
I don't know about that. All right. But it's not Leonardo. He's just Leo. Just Leo. Is the name, and it's a family name from my son-in-law's side of the family, so good job by them. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, Tuesday Top 10, Thom Abraham Show. More after this.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go.
only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
And back foot throw. Caught Mooney. 15, 10, Darnell 5. Waltzes into the end zone.
The call on Falcons radio, 22-21, the win over the Eagles last night in Philadelphia. Kirk Cousins led a last-minute drive for the Falcons. It connected with Drake London on a 7-yard touchdown with 34 seconds left to win it. Jalen Hurts had his final pass intercepted by Jesse Bates to seal Atlanta's win. Philadelphia was favored by 5.5 heading in. The under was 43. Atlanta paid plus 198 on the upset. Both teams are 1-1 with the result. The Falcons host the Chiefs Sunday night. The Eagles visit New Orleans. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. We're dropping into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A fantastic Wednesday afternoon. Once again, we're talking about plenty of sunshine. Temperatures going to be below average for late September. Highs only climbing into the low and mid-80s. We should be consistently climbing into the upper 80s. We're dropping into the mid-60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. We are going to be a little bit warmer across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Rocket City Federal Solutions. They are committed to streamlining engineering solutions for all aspects of installations and facilities construction and management worldwide with expertise and precision. These guys are great Americans now. We're talking about some great Americans here helping keep us safe all over the world. And they are right here in the Rocket City. That's why they called it Rocket City Federal Solutions. And they have over 35 years combined experience headed up by their CEO, Jason Largen. And they have experience in global network projects, critical systems, facility engineering, environmental, operational maintenance, and much more all over the world. You can learn more about them at RocketCityFederalSolutions.com. That's RocketCityFederalSolutions.com. All right, Joe. So Auburn Mike said he had 2 grandkids in the last year, I guess. I don't know how many he has altogether. For us, by the way, Leo is number 15 on the grandkid scale. 15, starting my own race.
That's
basically.
that's a lot.
That's a lot of grandkids. That's 15. And here's the scary part. We've got 3 breeders left to go that haven't even started yet, right? So
Terminology is kind of weird on that one.
Yeah.
3 breeders. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Well, my second oldest son, Tommy, and his wife, Michaela, they've been married a couple of years now, and she really wants to have a baby or 3. And he's like, he maps everything out in his life. He's like, okay, we got to do this, and he promised me they were going to get pregnant in August. He said, okay, we're going to get pregnant in August. He's got everything mapped out. Very successful in business. And so he's not pregnant. They're not pregnant. She's not pregnant. Nobody's pregnant. They need to get pregnant. The second one, second oldest son, I don't know that he will have kids. Now he's dating a girl that has 2 kids now. So if they end up getting married, which I could see happening, she's a nice girl, but she has 2 boys. If that were to end up happening, then we have to fold them in because, they'd be step grandkids. So we got to fold them into the
absolutely.
mix. And then the last is John and possibly Summer. I say possibly Summer because, he's been going out with Summer for 10 years now.
Yeah, he actually, we talked about this the other day, and I told him, I was like, I said, my wife wants to bring the kids up here, and he's like, all right, well, just don't do it while Summer's around because then she'll get baby fever. So no, which means
I'm she's going to have ring fever pretty soon.
That comes first.
Yeah,
majority of the
time.
Need
to kind of do that first if that's going to happen. So John will have kids. Danny, I don't know, will have kids. He might have ready-made kids. I don't think Danny's going to make any kids. I think Tommy will make 2 or 3, and get rocking and rolling here pretty soon. He better get rocking and rolling pretty soon. So in any event, that's the story on that. And I can't tell you there's 14. Did I say 15? 14.
Yeah, 15.
No, 14 grandkids.
Okay, there may be 15 and you just haven't been told about one that's coming.
Could be. I'm going to say 14, right? Maybe they did get pregnant in August and we don't know yet. But 14, and I can't tell you the exact mix. Let's see, there's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 8 and 5, something like 8 and 6. Is it 1, 2, 3, 5 boys? So 9 girls. So 9 girls, 5 boys. That's the number. That's how that whole thing works out. The Chubby Ninja got loose on the text window. The Chubby Ninja says, so Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle, could have been an FSU color guard sparkle britches too. You see, you saw that. Well, you saw that, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's seen the meme now.
Yes, everybody has.
Of the dude that's in the color guard for the FSU. Not that anything's wrong with that. But there's a dude in there.
Has more talent than half of FSU.
Maybe they should ask him if he can play quarterback, is what they should ask him.
Well, Youngalele isn't the answer.
So yeah, Leonardo could. I don't know. I may be wrong.
Because I even looked it up a minute ago, and there's nothing in there.
No,
because I was looking it
Who
up.
are the other turtles?
All right, so you got Leonardo, you have Raphael, you have Michelangelo, and you have Donatello.
Oh, maybe Michelangelo and Donatello.
Oh, Michelangelo is the party dude, though.
No.
Yeah, no. See, but then you also have.
One is.
There's
maybe I'm thinking of Teletubbies.
Now that is a totally different conversation and a totally different color pattern.
They could all be.
Yeah, that's a totally different color pattern.
Playing for the other team.
Yeah, no.
Well, we don't know what team they're on in the first place. They might be them middle things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is a female Ninja Turtle, but she doesn't get brought up that much.
When did that happen?
It was probably back in the I want to say the early 2000s.
Like years after it started?
Yeah, they brought in a female Ninja Turtle.
It's like having to have a Batgirl or a Supergirl. You gotta have a chick in there.
Somewhere. Yeah, and so you have Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo, and I always forget what her name is.
Are any of those dude turtles going out with her? Because if they're not, there you go.
I haven't paid enough attention to her because she hasn't ever been in any of the like normal cartoons or any of the normal movies.
How old is your oldest child now?
He is about to be 6 in October. And when the new Ninja Turtle movie came out, he was all about the Ninja Turtles.
Well, don't ask him yet.
No.
But when he's like 8, you can ask him, hey, one of them Ninja Turtles, play for the other team?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't know. It happens. All right, let me get LSU Lynch in here. LSU Lynch, welcome to the show. How are you?
This is the last time I'm going to tell you this year, son. I'm going to tell you. Okay? You got one day.
Might be today. Maybe today was the day.
No. Listen to me, Linda. No, y'all got them on. You got them on the show on the Thursdays, okay? Then you got to go call them on the ball game. I don't care. I'm a Trojan. I hate that team. I don't care if we lose every year. It don't matter to me.
Well, that might happen. You never know. Although I like your coach. I like your coach. Yeah.
Look, I love watching the show, and this is where I'm getting pissed off at. I love watching the show.
What if I wore this during the show? Are you watching now? What if I wore this?
No, I don't watch the damn show.
Okay.
You got that garbage on.
All right. I have a Buckhorn helmet on right now. I didn't know if you knew that.
You probably got a Buckhorn condom on we don't know about. Go LSU.
I wouldn't have 15 grandkids if that were the case. I would.
Now, trust me, his lineage says that is not the case.
I don't even know what that is. I like the Hazel Green coach. I think he's going to get something going there. I really do. I think the Fred Ferrier. I think he made a bad call going fake punt from his own 18-yard line. But I like Fred Ferrier. I think that he is. I think Fred Ferrier is going to have some success there at Hazel Green. It is going to take him a couple of years, but I think he's got an opportunity to have some success. All right, Joe, break out my Shane and the Moneymakers.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the Tuesday top 10.
I'll put you on the spot a little bit, Joe, but and I don't expect you to know the answer, but this would just be random. What city in America would you think has produced the most NFL players, current NFL players, not all time, current NFL players playing in the league right now? What city in America has produced the most players?
I would say either Atlanta or Miami.
Miami. Ding, ding, ding. Good
Boom.
job by you.
Boom.
All right. Good job by you. 17 players in the NFL from Miami, 14 from Atlanta, okay, which puts them in fourth place. Second most players in the NFL, believe it or not, Las Vegas, Nevada. You wouldn't think of Las Vegas, Nevada. And I don't know if they're saying where they went to high school, like Bishop Gorman.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm wondering if this Bishop Gorman, those kids aren't really from Las Vegas, but they go out there and they play at Bishop Gorman.
Well, then that would also bring in Tampa when it comes to IMG Academy.
Well, almost. You're thinking correctly. Bradenton has 15. So that's what this is. I bet it's from where the school is, and that's it. So Bradenton is 15, Atlanta 14, Detroit, Michigan has 14 players as well. Houston 13, St. Louis 13, Tampa 13, Plantation, Florida 12, Birmingham, Alabama 10. What's the difference between Birmingham, Alabama, and Miami, Vegas, Bradenton, Atlanta, Detroit, Houston, St. Louis, Tampa? Those places are all a hell of a lot bigger than Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, I mean, and the murder rate is probably lower. And all those other places as well. No, the only thing I could think of with Birmingham would be Thompson and or Hoover.
Well, there's a lot of great athletes that come out of Birmingham, end up at Alabama and Auburn, and go on to play in the NFL. And you know this by now, Birmingham is actually smaller than Huntsville now. Huntsville's the biggest city in Alabama. Now, Greater Birmingham includes Hoover, which has got like 100,000. Hoover's bigger than Madison.
Yeah.
So
and part of the reason is because
is
Birmingham makes up majority of Jefferson County, and Jefferson County's county taxes and Birmingham city taxes are so god awful that everybody's moved into Shelby County below it.
So what state in the union do you think has the most NFL players?
Well, based on that list, I would say Florida.
Second, believe it or not, to Texas. Texas, 100. See, them Texas, they come from everywhere. 190 players in the NFL are from Texas, 176 from Florida. Third is California at 168. Georgia, 146. North Carolina, 74. Ohio, 65. Alabama with 59 NFL players. Now, here's the thing. Alabama has only got 5 million people. Alabama's tiny compared to these other states. So when you go to now, and for Tennessee, for example, Tennessee has 7 million people. Tennessee has 7 million people. They have 32 NFL players from Tennessee. Alabama has 5 million people, and they have 59 players that are in the NFL. So, you know, when Tennessee talks about having to recruit outside the state, they're probably right when it comes to acquiring talent. So on a per capita basis, okay, what do we say? Texas had the most players?
Yes.
Texas has the most players. Per capita, they're not even in the top 10 Texas, because Texas has a lot of people.
Because they're massive.
They have a massive amount of people in Texas. In the country of America, in the United States, one person out of every 194,512 people are NFL players. One out of every 109, and you and I are not NFL players. So there you go. There's 400,000 that right there. Got to offset that. So one player, because there's 1,704 players out of 331 million people in America. Georgia, with one player per 73,000 people in the state of Georgia, are NFL players. Louisiana, 1 out of 80,000 are NFL players. And the number 3 state for players per capita is Alabama. 1 out of every 85,000 people in the state of Alabama, 1 out of every 85,000 are NFL players. So Georgia, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Maryland, Hawaii, Utah, North Carolina, those are your top 10.
So if for every game that Auburn sells out, which is not happening much right now,
if
for every game that Auburn sells out, that means one of those people in attendance will be an NFL player.
One of those is an NFL player. But you got to count the guys on the field, maybe. If you count them, there might be 6 on the field. Well, it's Auburn.
No, it's Auburn. So
Maybe
again,
3.
1 out of everybody that's in that stadium is going to be an NFL player. Yeah.
He's an Auburn fan, folks. He can say that.
Oh, I can absolutely say that. I'm harsher on Auburn than most actual fans are.
All right, we get our final break. We'll come back with the 2-minute warning next here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show, presented by Lawler's Barbecue.
The tackle. Williams, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 2 electric early
on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Two-minute warning is brought to you by Minuteman Press. Putting ink on paper. That's Minuteman Press. Jason Dunwoody and his team, they do a tremendous job whether you're looking for promotional items, T-shirts, banners. Joe, you see all the stuff here behind me? Those of you watching on 97.7 on WZZN TV. These are all from Minuteman Press. This is the kind of stuff that they do at Minuteman Press. They do excellent stuff. See that pennant behind you there, Joe, over your left of your other ear?
That I do.
Yeah, that pennant, that's from the Minute. That banner that's behind you on the wall, Minuteman Press. There you go. That's the kind of stuff that they do. Lane Kiffin is really upset with Wake Forest. You see, Wake Forest bought their way out of the return trip to Ole Miss for next year. They had a home and home with Ole Miss, and Ole Miss beat them, 40-7 this past weekend down there in Winston-Salem, and they were supposed to come to Ole Miss next year, which would satisfy the need to have a Power 5, Power 4 team coming in, and so they bought their way out of that game. Which I don't know what the fine was. They bought their way out of that game, and he's very upset. He says that they broke protocol. This is not something that you do, he said. Well, let me tell you something. Ask James Franklin about that, because I remember back in 2012 when Vanderbilt was supposed to be playing Ohio State in 2013, and 11 months before the game, Vanderbilt sent a form letter. Vanderbilt was going to get paid $1.2 million, which is embarrassing because you're paying another power conference team to come play you. I mean, like Vanderbilt's supposed to be in the FCS or something. This is 2013.
That's Vandy.
Yeah. You're talking about 11 years ago. 1.2 million 11 years ago is like $2 million now. So anyway, they were supposed to play them. They bought their way out of the game, Joe, and replaced them with UMass. Yeah, UMass. In Foxborough, where they won 24-7. They were so hell-bent on making sure they made a bowl game. They were afraid, and they did not play Ohio State. So it happens. It happens. All right, that's going to do it for us. The Paul Feinbaum Show is up next. We'll talk to you on Hump Day. For Joe, I'm Tom. Have a great day, everybody.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins believes last night's comeback win over the Eagles can change the tale of the season. It gives them something to build on and gives their group some resolve. Down 6 late, Cousins led Atlanta on a game-winning